Welcome to the video. Before we begin, if not already, please take a moment to subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot. And click the bell icon to receive notifications when I upload. Comment your little heart out. And most of all, please enjoy. Now back to the video. I'm going to spoil this movie because I'm going to talk about all of it. If you haven't seen this movie yet and don't want to be spoiled, turn down the volume. I need the views. I don't think I've ever done a trilogy so close together. I usually like to cleanse my palette with a different movie in between, so I can't really do theme blocks. These are so loosely tied together, they're not true sequels. Don't get me started on that blood relative thing. Cloverfield was about a giant monster invading our world. 10 Cloverfield Lane showed us a very different invasion with so little in common it actually insulted me that they tried to connect them. This movie and 10 Cloverfield Lane started as two different movies with the Cloverfield ties written in after the fact. And it shows. This is the Cloverfield paradox. In 2028, Earth has an energy crisis. Guess those solar panels didn't work out? Ava Hamilton and her husband Michael are struggling with the loss of their children in a house fire. She's getting ready to leave Earth to join a space mission on board the Cloverfield space station. Deal with your personal shit by saving humanity. They're going to test the Shepard particle accelerator on board the station, which would provide Earth with enough energy if they get it to work, and hopefully not rip open any dimensional portals. Anyone who's played Half-Life knows what's up. Up on the Cloverfield station, we have our international crew. Engineer Volkov, German physicist Ernst Schmidt, Engineer Mundy, Engineer Tam, the guy in charge, Commander Keel, Dr. Monk, and the rest. At this point, they've been trying for 2 years, but they haven't been able to maintain a stable beam, if you know what I mean. The stable beam means stable energy production. You know, science shit. But they finally did it.
Yes.
对战成功。
But there's an overload and things start exploding. Red alert! Shields up! Sorry, wrong franchise.
X-Deck 起火了。
Oh no, fire on the porn deck! The fire's out, so they get back to business. But Earth isn't where it's supposed to be.
It's not here.
I had that Earth here somewhere. They check the cameras, look out all the windows, no Earth. Maybe it's a navigational issue, but the navigation gyroscope is missing.
Found the problem with the gyro.
What, it's fried?
It's not here.
And they find a woman trapped in a wall with a bunch of cables and wires running through her, like she just phased into this wall.
She's bleeding out. I can't do anything until she...
Is this girl power? Meanwhile, back on Earth, Michael wakes to a huge disaster. We don't really know what's up yet. The wall woman is Mina. She's not a stowaway, but she claims she's a member of the Cloverfield crew. She recognizes everyone but a couple people. And now some weird stuff starts to happen. The foosball table plays itself. Ooh. For experiments, I have a worm farm, but now it's empty. But luckily, the supply of great green globs of greasy, grimy gopher guts is secure. Volkov's eyeballs get a mind of their own. Hey, look over there!
No!
To keep his eyeballs in line, he 3D prints a gun. That'll show him. He starts threatening the rest of the crew with the gun, but before he can do anything, he passes out. And then his face kind of explodes with all the worms flying out of his face. Did he eat them? Mina knows Ava, but Ava doesn't know Mina. She still claims to be a member of the crew. Mina also doesn't trust Schmidt.
Don't trust Schmidt.
I think it's because he was Baron Zemo.
He's out of line, but he's right.
It doesn't help when they find incriminating emails on his computer that imply he's a German spy.
You were ordered by German intelligence to keep the Shepherd offline.
You are being very foolish. We have ways of making you talk. They lock Schmidt in the airlock because they don't have a space jail. Back on Earth, there are these large creatures being mysterious and dramatically lit. And screaming children. That's it for Earth for now. Back up on the space station, you get more weird stuff happening. Mundy gets his arm caught in a wall. And I mean the wall closes up around his arm. They get him loose, but now his arm's gone. It's not even bleeding. It looks like a honey-baked ham on the end. What happened? I don't know. I'm stumped. Seriously, how is he not more freaked? I get more panicky when I can't find the other sock. Some invisible force releases Schmidt from the airlock. It's an airlock, not an air unlocked. I guess we're not going to worry about him being a spy anymore, now that there's a severed arm dragging itself down the hall.
Lieutenant Ash, pick up your shit.
Wait, I know those knuckles. They trap him in an aquarium. Aw, can I keep him? And the arm has a message, so they give him a pen. He writes out, "Cut worm guy open." I don't like it when Thing is emo. So they cut worm guy open and pull out the missing gyroscope. Did he eat it with the worms? Was he trying to sneak it through customs? How the hell did that fit in there? Did he, Now they can navigate and they find Earth, but not where it was supposed to be. But they receive a news broadcast about the Cloverfield station crashing to Earth 2 days previously. Now they're kind of getting it. The Cloverfield station traveled into a parallel universe
To another dimension?
where theirs was destroyed. Mina was a part of that crew, and Schmidt was a spy on their ship. In this universe, Ava stayed on Earth to be a tradwife. This is referred to as the Cloverfield paradox caused by the accelerator. But they also believe this effect can be reversed and they can go back. It's like movie amnesia. You hit your head, you get amnesia, you hit your head again, brain damage. If they do reverse it, they'll be stuck with Mina. Not that they don't have room, there's still plenty of walls. Tam gets stuck in a room that starts filling with water because we need a water level. What happened? Did the apartment upstairs leave the shower running again? Just when it looks like she's gonna drown, a hatch breaks, exposing her and the water to space, and it all freezes instantly. At least she didn't drown. If you know how bad the science is in this scene, leave a comment below.
This dimension is eating us alive.
What he said. Meanwhile, in another movie, Michael is still in danger. I guess. Something is happening on Earth and we're getting bits and pieces of nothing. They plan to send Mina back to Earth on an escape pod, with some helpful tips on how to get their own particle accelerator to work. It also turns out Ava's kids are still alive in this universe. This universe's Ava never gave the kids a Samsung battery that caught fire and killed them. She shows her some home movies that prove it. Ava wants to stay behind to be with her kids. She needs to warn them not to do that battery thing, and since a phone call is out of the question, she's going to tell them in person. There's a big issue with this. These aren't her kids. They're hers. They already have a mom. Scarlet Witch had the same leap in logic, but the boss is okay with it.
Okay.
They have to fire up the particle accelerator again. Even with one arm, Mundy can still handle his cock. Things get a little magnetic.
Guys? No.
Mundy loses his tool belt, and then he gets attacked by all that magnetic cock he laid a second ago. You'd think it was going to go through him, but it grabs him and pulls him back, just long enough for an explosion to kill him. The explosion takes out a significant chunk of the station. If it gets too wobbly, it'll tear the station apart, so they have to disconnect it. To do it, Keel has to keel himself and puts Ava in charge. So he disconnects the station, flows away with it, clear out of the movie.
Okay, guys, I'm ready to come back. Haha, I was kidding.
So they have a plan to send the station home, but Ava and Mina are staying behind and taking an escape pod. They're giving this Earth more data that would help them with their own problems. But Mina still has that 3D printed gun. She knocks out Ava and goes back to the station for a rampage. She kills the doctor and shoots the Schmidt. Her station is destroyed, and it would take forever to build another. She would rather keep theirs. And Schmidt gets shot again. This poor guy. Ava and Mina have it out one last time. She uses a foosball rod as a lightsaber, and it's glorious. They need more foosball fights in movies. The window gets shot out, of course. Who didn't see that coming? And Ava gets sucked through the bullet hole.
This sucks on so many levels!
Schmidt is still alive. She needs the extra set of hands. She sends herself a message about not giving the kids flammable batteries.
3, 2, 1.
They fire up the doohickey once more. And it works. They're back in their reality, and Earth is right where it's supposed to be. And it's working, providing all the power they need, but the station itself is screwed, so they need to get off. They hop in a escape pod and head back to Earth. And Michael is furious because nobody warned them not to come back just yet, because there's a small problem on the ground. That's the monster from the other movie. That was the Cloverfield paradox. So the implication here is the Cloverfield paradox opened up other dimensions into our reality. This lets Clovey and the aliens from Cloverfield Lane into our world. They don't come out and say it, but it's implied with all the little details. Speaking of our lovable crew of cliché characters, Ava's desire to go back to Earth to be with her kids makes no sense. Was she really gonna go live with someone else's kids and husband? Give him yet another mouth to feed? Then again, she would add another income to the family. Would they have different social security numbers? I'm thinking way too much about this. Speaking of Michael, all of his scenes felt like a different movie spliced in. A very boring movie. I mean, if they were going to include him, show more of what was happening on the ground. That probably would have made me more invested in what he's going through, but as it were, I just didn't care about what was happening to him. We have the token suspicious character who always looks shifty, the comic relief who provides some levity single-handedly, had to do it. The Chinese character who doesn't speak English, so that's saved on writing dialogue for her. Visuals are good. The station set is convincing and it feels practical. No complaints about the visual effects here. Acting is nothing to write home about. No! 10 Cloverfield Lane at least could have potentially stood on its own as a decent suspenseful thriller. This movie, not so much. It's dull. Some neat ideas, but makes no sense. Why does a wall eat an arm? Why does that arm still function? Why do worms and a big-ass gyroscope end up in a guy's body? How is Mina embedded in a wall? Who let out Schmidt? Questions, no answers. This doesn't feel like a paradox. This feels more like random shit happening in space. Enough technobabble that would make Geordie LaForge rock hard. Film's pacing often drags during exposition-heavy scenes, while action sequences feel rushed. Inconsistent plot with many plot points left unresolved. The movie raised so many questions and nothing got answered. There's a lack of character development. The characters often come across as one-dimensional, with little backstory or insight. And while marketed as a part of the Cloverfield universe, the film's connection is tenuous at best. The tie-in elements are forced and tacked on. The ties to Cloverfield become more obvious at the very end, but it's just too little, too late. Straight to Netflix for a reason. The Cloverfield paradox is two Bs. Intriguing ideas, a strong cast, but it struggles to give you a coherent sci-fi thriller. If there's another fourth movie to finally tie all these things together, I hope it's purpose-written and not yet another script shoehorned into this universe. Then maybe the next movie will actually make some sense. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, the bell, you know, the usual YouTube stuff. This is theNewBee, and I'll see you later, kids. Toodles.
Thank you.